Oklahoma goes into Tuscaloosa and takes down the Tide in a must-win. What a crazy day of college football. What an amazing football game that just took place in Bryant-Denny. Welcome to Crain and Company. Make sure you're subscribed. We're almost to 200K. Thank you guys for joining us. David Cohn, former Michigan quarterback. Blaine Crain, former Western State, Colorado wide receiver. And the main takeaway, I think, from this game, because it went from an offensive standpoint about how we thought it would go, but there is a reason that turnovers are the most important stat in the box score. There is a reason that turnovers, without a doubt, weigh the most when dictating how a game ends, regardless of how everything else on the periphery goes. And David Cohn, Ty Simpson had, the pick six. We had the fumbles. And you've got to, first off, give all the credit to Oklahoma, especially defensively. But it was turnovers and inconsistent accuracy from Ty Simpson that ended up deciding this one.
Yeah, I mean, Alabama losing a football game is not the biggest surprise here. We've said for the last couple weeks, look, this looks like a team. No one's invincible. This looks like a team that could possibly drop another one here, SEC play. But the fashion that it happened, at home in Bryant-Denny against a team that kept you out of the college football playoff a year ago, and I told you guys for the last 3 weeks, turnovers. Can someone at least win the turnover battle against Alabama just to see if that works? No team has won the turnover battle against them this year, including that loss they had to Florida State. I mean, look, 406 total yards. They won time of possession. They were great they were pretty good on third down. Lost the turnover battle 3-0, and it was really that Oklahoma defense creative with pressures even without our Mason Thomas, man. It was really a beautiful thing to watch if you're a Sooner fan.
And Blaine, again, to go back, we called this the battle of 3rd and 7, the return the favor game. And if you look offensively, yes, Ty Simpson threw for 326. That's a lot. You end up only getting a touchdown. You obviously throw an interception. We'll talk about Alabama's field goal kicking problems and why Tate Sandell, I think, is one of the low-key MVPs of this game for Oklahoma, if anything else, but he made the kicks when he lined up to kick them. But the leading rusher for each team only had 60 yards and 34 yards. The leading pass catcher for each team only had 80 yards and 36 yards. So this wasn't a bunch of explosive plays. We had an idea that it would be that. And what's funny, Blaine, when you look at the stat line, you would look at John Mateer and you'd say 15 for 23, not bad. 138, not great. No touchdowns, no picks. You had 10 rushes for 23 yards. You did have that big touchdown on that quarterback design run. But he made some plays in the middle of this game that didn't result in a touchdown, but kept drives alive and actually got Oklahoma into scoring range for Tate Sandell to do his thing. It may be lopsided from a number standpoint, but Mateer did make some plays, and he didn't make the big mistake.
Which is huge. And some of those throws, if you go back and watch that game, were field hitches, right? And I don't know if you've ever watched a guy, one of the hardest throws you have to make is all the way to the other side of a field, basically a hitch or a comeback. The arm strength you have to do that is out of this world. I thought John played good. Exactly what you said. The real thing to me is, Ty Simpson, 320-plus yards, I understand, play with one interception that happened in the end zone that got called back, which the guy had no reason to do that. Anyways, he looks sped up to me a little bit in this football game. And I don't know if that's because of the sacks or whatever it was, but it doesn't make sense to me because Ty Simpson is battle-tested, right? He's gone through rigorous games, this rigorous schedule, and found ways to win. I haven't seen him missed high this many times in a football game. You go back to last week, he didn't play great. But it's just weird to see Ty doing that. And David, you brought up the point, you without R. Mason Thomas on defense, this was an absolute clinic for Brent Venables and this team. And if you go look at the rest of Oklahoma's schedule, I'm telling you, for the playoffs, it just got insane. It just got insane.
Yeah, I mean, you host Missouri, you're going to play LSU. Oklahoma should make the college football playoff. They should make it. And look, I picked Bama to win this game, but before the season, I had Oklahoma 10-2 making the playoffs. So I was kind of a little bit battling both ways, and Alabama's still in it. But Cone, look, we're going to talk a lot about Ty Simpson. I just think he had an off night. I mean, you played the position. I mean, we watch guys that go out there and win Cy Youngs have off nights on the mound. The difference is these guys play one game a week. as opposed to playing a 162-game regular season. But I want to make sure before we get off of this, we're going to have a Georgia-Texas, obviously, reaction. Make sure you check out everything else. I thought Kip Lewis for Oklahoma, he ended up with 7 total tackles, all solos, 2 sacks, which means you have 2 TFLs.
Should have recovered that fumble, too.
I thought he showed up in big moments, and I just love the way that this Brent Venable defense continues to play, and it's why they won the game. Let's be honest. The reason Oklahoma won was because of the defense and because of kicking field goals. That's why they won.
Yeah, I mean, they scored 1 offensive touchdown, and still won the football game. Meanwhile, I'm watching Alabama's kicker, Talty, miss a field goal, and people were talking about it was deflected. That football was going sideways long before anyone touched it. He's blaming the snapper. Anyway, the point that I wanted to make based off what you said, and I need people to understand this, Ty Simpson's off night was forced by the Oklahoma defense. And this is the thing. If you're just going to bring pressure every time against Ty Simpson or bring the same pressure, he's going to beat you because he can replace the blitz with the football. He did it a couple times tonight. But by bringing so many different looks, bringing pressure, then rush 3, drop 8, mixing everything up, and most importantly, bringing something different post-snap than you showed him pre-snap. That's the biggest thing. Oklahoma did that tonight. Brent Venables orchestrated that. There's only so many defenses in the country that can actually pull that off with 18 to 22-year-olds. Show you something pre-snap, bring something different post-snap, and you could see it at work tonight, and that led to some of those mistakes, and that's going to be the key. That's going to be a blueprint and a key to victory that other defenses are going to look at down the stretch here and say, man, I wonder if we can pull that off to beat Alabama.
Yeah, and look, again, to Oklahoma's credit, when you're able to get pressure on the quarterback, you have the turnover on special teams, which was massive to put you in really good field position and points were at a premium. I do want to stay, though, Cone, with you for a second. On that pick 6, I know it was a slant, obviously, and Ty liked it before, and you could see a little bit of collision between, I believe it was Ryan Williams and the corner, and the safety was behind it. But you still had 2 over 1. Mm-hmm. Did you like – because he looked at it. He saw it. He looked at it. He realized there was pressure. He wanted to get rid of it. Like, what did you make of that? Again,
that's just one of those examples where when you're playing against a defense like this, where there's no margin for error all night throughout the entirety of a game, it's like against other opponents, maybe you can get away with that, or you make up for it later and we don't even talk about the pick 6. Against this type of defense with what they were able to do, again, without one of the best pass rushers in the country in R. Mason Thomas, it was the creativity that really stood out for me. Honestly, it reminded me a lot of the stuff that Kirby Smart did against Steve Sarkisian a year ago. It reminded me a lot of the stuff that that Matt Patricia is doing with the Buckeyes right now. Again, all credit to that Oklahoma defense, man.
I will say this. I'm pretty sure it was I think it was Horton on the edge he threw it to, not Ryan Williams. And if you go back and look at that play, Alabama offensive line gave up a free release to Kip Lewis up the middle. No one touched him. No one touched him. And I saw that multiple times today up front against Alabama. Look, they had good moments. They had bad moments. But their bad moments were free releasers off stunts. And that can never happen. Look, and I know Brent Venables like to change things post-snap before what he shows pre, but one thing Ryan Grubb harped on all week, it's like, look, we have to change up the picture. All right, Brent Venables goes off pictures of what you do formationally, and he goes from there. And I'll say this, at sooner or later, right, it can't all be on Ty Simpson to go out there and get you a win. It sucks as a quarterback when you don't have a run game.
Yeah, no, that's why, like, to me, when you look at the top quarterbacks in the country right now, we have to make sure and understand that Ty Simpson is out there playing on a one-dimensional offense. Like Marcel Reed has a run game. Fernando Mendoza has a run game. Julian Sayin has a run game. And when that happens, it obviously makes your job easier. So Ty Simpson is literally having to go out there and play point guard and shoot it. That's a tough situation to be in where you're running point and you also basically have to be playing the 2, basically playing shooting guard as well as run point. It's a tough way to live. And I'll say this, Daniel Hill, he had some good moments tonight. He had 60 yards on 15 carries and 2 touchdowns. Someone needs to tell that young man, you are not a scat back. This isn't high school. You can't just bounce everything. There was a huge, I think it was 2nd and 5, maybe 3rd and 5, where it was a perfect run call by Ryan Grubb, and all he had to do was hit it. He tried to bounce it and ended up putting him in 3rd and 6. So there's still, even when there are holes there, Alabama and Jam Miller, and again, you got to give credit to
What,
Oklahoma's
what was
defense.
the
I'm not
deal
saying he
there?
just-
I mean, is he just not back fully from a concussion or
Man,
something?
it looks like he's not able. They don't have anybody that's making the first guy miss.
It's so crazy to get on here and say that Alabama really doesn't have that good of a running back.
Well, and that's the thing. That's what I was going to bring up, because it wasn't just running the football. A couple of those sacks, Oklahoma, it wasn't just due to creativity. They were actually beating their opponents. There was a couple off right tackle, but the one that I was thinking of when you guys said that was Jam Miller. I mean, Jam Miller filled a gap. The protection is there, and he just gets run over and gets beat. Again, I don't know if he wasn't fully back from some sort of concussion or whatever, and that's why Hill was having to get so many carries. But another point on the run game, there was a couple things that Ty Simpson did do tonight in zone read that I was impressed with. Now, he was a dual threat quarterback coming out, and Alabama is far from out of this thing, right? They're probably still even going to play in the SEC championship game, much less the college football playoff. If he can continue making the correct read in zone read, not to pick up 40 or 50 or 60 yards the way that Jalen Milroe used to do, but to pick up 7, 10, and get first downs, that's going to be critical for Alabama moving forward.
No, without a doubt, and especially if you're trying to invent a way to run the ball.
Yes,
exactly.
exactly.
The more hands in the jar, the better chance you have. The more guys they have to defend, the more spread out they're going to get. I want to look forward here before we get off. Again, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not already locked in. Oklahoma's got Missouri at home. They're going to be favored. We know what happened to Bo Perbula. You get LSU at home. They're going to be favored. We know what's been going on with them from an injury standpoint. They don't have their head coach. They're already looking forward to moving on. How confident, 1 through 10, I'm going to go to each y'all, and then we're going to go to Bama the rest of the way. 1 through 10, starting with you, Blaine, how confident are you that Oklahoma makes the college football playoff at 10-2?
I would say I'll say a 6.
Well, again, is that because you think they're going to win out and not make it? Because you just went on the road and beat number 4. You went on the road and beat number 14 before that. You lost to number 6 at home by a touchdown, and you lost to Texas, who we'll see what happens to Georgia tonight. But either way, it's not going to be a bad look. And you beat Michigan, who right now is also contending the playoff. I think Oklahoma tonight is a 90% chance to make the college football playoff.
Okay. I was going to say 75, but yeah. And look, if Texas, who's in front of you with the head-to-head, loses to either Georgia or Texas A&M, that'll take them out of it. Obviously, you have the head-to-head over Michigan, which, let's see. I mean, they almost lost to Northwestern, but yeah, I'd put it at 75.
It could get weird. It could get really weird, though, because you have to put a Texas in over in Oklahoma. Does a 10-2 Oklahoma get in over a 10-2 Texas Tech?
I don't even mentally have time to do that. Right?
Yeah, well, I don't think you're going to.
This is an instant react. That's tomorrow's stuff.
Hey, y'all started this, not me.
Yeah, no, but I think a big winner tonight is obviously A&M. This is huge. Now you're the only undefeated team left in the conference.
Yep.
But also Ole Miss as well. You got Florida tonight. You win tonight, you're 6-1. You really good chance you're probably going to finish 7-1 in the conference. You look at Georgia's got to play Texas tonight as well. Texas going to Georgia, got to play A&M. This obviously helped you. But all right, to Bama, because here we need to set the scene for a second. And Blaine, I want to start with you on this. This is the situation. Obviously, Kalen DeBoer wants to win every game. But now Alabama will beat, I believe, what is it, Eastern Illinois they got next at home or whatever it is. I'm pulling it up right now as we're talking.
Yeah,
all right, you're going to beat Eastern Illinois. Now you've got to go to Auburn to win, to make not only the SEC championship, but I don't think a 9-3 Bama makes the college football playoff.
If you lose to Auburn that last game, no.
It just you've now given Auburn. You've now if you ever needed even any more ammo outside of the Iron Bowl, which you shouldn't, you have now given Auburn a way to totally ruin your season.
Yeah,
Auburn
on the
road,
the funniest thing ever.
In Jordan-Hare.
Thing ever. Yeah, after you went through a whole season of getting beat up,
which they should beat Auburn. Alabama's looked like a better team than Auburn. Auburn doesn't know how to win in an inter squad game.
Where's that game at, Jake?
It's at Jordan-Hare. I mean, Coney.
Triangle cone.
It's turning into nightmare scenario.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the Tide in that one, but could get interesting.
It could get interesting. All right, speaking of interesting, there's a lot more stuff going on. We've got a full recap and AP poll reaction tomorrow as well. Make sure you check out our Georgia-Texas reaction right after the game. Stay locked into Crain & Company. We'll see you soon.